If you do have questions for this evening's press conferences, just a reminder to please raise your hand and do not ask your question until we get a mic to you. And at that time, please state your name and affiliation. But before our questions, we'll open it up with opening remarks from Coach Peterson.
Well, I'm obviously very disappointed in the first half. I'm disappointed myself. Thought the guys practiced hard. I thought we had a good week here. But the first half was obviously on offense, still in practice mode. And I think the thing I was so excited about our guys the last month of football was really that they kind of figured out how to flip that switch and the mental focus and energy. And for whatever reason, we didn't have it the first half. And, second half, they did, but it was too little too late. And so I'm obviously very, very disappointed. Feel really bad for our seniors to have to go out this way. But we will learn from it. I won't let this happen again. And we'll be better for it down the road.
Any questions? Front row on the left.
Adam Jude from the Seattle Times. Chris, can you just expand on the start? I mean, what was the vibe in the first half? What were you, any adjustments on the fly you were trying to make there?
We were just getting our teeth kicked in on offense from the very start. And there's no real good plays when that's happening. And we had a couple things in the pass game that we didn't hit, and run game was not going. And, I think you put the tape on and you just see that they were playing harder than us from the start. Yeah.
Next question.
You put Lindquist in there for the last play, the first half. Did you consider a change of quarterback at any point?
Yeah, I mean, you're hoping that we get something going and get Seiler back into a rhythm, because obviously he was far from it. He actually practiced well, through our bowl preparations, and we weren't getting any first downs to stay on the field to get any sort of rhythm going, and so you wanted to give him a little bit of a chance there. And then the second half we got some things going. It was better, but first half there was zilch.
Here on the left front.
Christian Cable from the Tacoma News Tribune. You talked yesterday about the effect that winning a bowl game can have on your off season.
Yep.
Obviously, you're facing the opposite of that. How do you kind of combat taking that negative feeling into workouts and everything?
Yeah, and we're going to have to use that as a chip on our shoulder without question. I mean, we got a lot of work to do, and the guys know that. And, I think it'll be, a tough, hard process, going through that. But we're going to use it as a positive in terms of, like, how we need to play and what we need to do to be able to compete.
Here in the front right.
Chris Fetters with Sports Washington. Chris, what was the mood in the locker room at half, and what was the talk?
The guys knew. I mean, they knew that they got more to them than we were showing in that first half. And, it wasn't a ton of talking. There was right before we got out to kind of set our jaw, but I think that's what it was. I mean, the guys were you could tell, disappointed in that first half. And, to their credit, kind of adjusted and came out with better energy and played harder.
On the left.
Kevin Zimmerman from Fox Sports Arizona. Coach, did you think the defensive performance in the first half was better or worse than the second half, and how did you?
I thought when we got those turnovers, that's got to spark us somehow, some way on offense, and just could get nothing done. And we've kind of learned this team kind of plays off each other. If we get some things going on offense, our defense will play with more energy and more passion as well. And we couldn't get anything done, and they came out ready to play, and they had us on our heels. We didn't tackle well enough, and it was very poor first half.
Front right.
Yeah, this question for Jadon. Jadon, just what was your sense of the energy or enthusiasm coming out of the game, and just that first series? What was kind of going through your mind after that quick 3 and out?
Well, you know, that's a part of football. Everything doesn't go right when it comes to football, and you know, I just let the guys know that, you know, we still have a lot of football to play. Each time we punt the ball, you know, that doesn't matter. We know our defense is going to go out there and they're going to play their hearts out, and you know, we just need to stay positive and stay playing hard. And I appreciate every one of these guys for playing hard, and I respect them for that. And that's why I love being on this football team, and I wouldn't change nothing for the world.
Left front here.
Andrew, just what are the emotions for you, I guess, in wrapping up your career and a nice season for you?
I think it's, I mean, you know, sucks ending like that, but all in all, it's been overall a great season, good experience, and, you know, if we would have come out more ready, you know, the outcome could have been different, but, I mean, all in all, as far as emotions, I don't know, it's kind of like, dang, you know, it sucks, but, I mean, there's still a lot more to go in this program and this team, and I'm just looking forward to seeing, you know, these guys come up. So, yeah, still a little lost on emotions, though.
Any more questions? Front right.
Just curious, I mean, I know this is hard to digest right away, but given how the energy was and the enthusiasm to start, is there anything that you might have thought in hindsight that you could have changed about the schedule or the things? We talked a little bit about the break and all the things that went into that.
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, that's something that we're going to really look at and analyze. You know, I think we're going to look at everything. But, you know, I think probably the most important thing that I need to do is, you know, probably those last 2 days leading up to the game is to really, you know, somehow stress that energy, that focus, that toughness factor, how this game needs to start. You know, I thought these guys know. I'd be telling this, it wouldn't be something that they don't know, but it's got to start with me, and I got to bring that to the table so they get that, grasp that, and we can come out and start faster and get some things done. But we'll look at everything.
Left front.
Not a whole lot of time, obviously, to digest this again, but what's the outlook going to look like at the quarterback position going into the spring and the off season? I mean, you have obviously got you know, some young guys there itching for a shot, I think.
Yeah. And so, you know, I think Seiler, you know, did progress as the season went on. I mean, there's a lot of, he took a lot of snaps, a lot of reps, and learned a lot of things. But I think every position in this program, we got to have competition. And, you know, we got to get better there. And those guys got to either push him or, you know, we got to improve there. And I think we will.
Right front here.
Coach, I apologize if you already talked about this, but James Castleman for them, number 91, did that surprise you, the plays he was involved in on offense and that big play at the end, obviously?
Yeah, he did a good job. You know, we just got to defend formations and plays, and, you know, bowl games are always going to have a little bit of, you know, a little bit of wrinkles and those type of things. And we got, you know, we lost our eyes on that last play right there, and our DB fell down, and it was wide open.
In the front.
Jadon, one more. I asked you about the beginning, but tell me what your emotions were like when you scored and what your thought process was and getting back to within a touchdown.
My emotions, basically just being trying to be professional about it. It was a lot of football to play. A minute left or however seconds left, you know, I knew that we were still in this football game, and I knew that each guy out there was going to play their heart out. And you know, scoring touchdowns, that just comes and go. But, you know, I knew it was something special brewing. And after that missed kick, it was obviously an opportunity leading up to we could have won this game, seeing how bowl games been going on these past couple months. So, you know, I looked at it positively, and, you know, we just couldn't pull it out.
Any more questions? Here in the right, second row.
Thanks. Mark Cooper with the Tulsa World. Chris, you know, you guys forced those 2 turnovers early, you know, against a quarterback who was in his 9th quarter of college football. What did you take from how he responded and you know, came out and threw a couple long touchdowns against you guys?
I thought he played really well, and kind of saw that on tape, that he didn't look like he's only played a couple games. I mean, and he threw some nice passes and give his receivers a chance to make plays, and I thought he was thought it was very good. You know, they did a nice job of max protect and play action, singling up our DBs. Our receivers went up, made a couple nice plays. Our guys were there a couple times and still didn't make the play. But, you know, those are going to happen. Those plays are going to happen. They got some talented guys. You know, I kind of still keep going back to that first half on offense. Had we been able to do something there, it would have been a much closer game.
Any more questions? All right, this concludes our Washington press conference. We'll begin with opening comments from Coach Gundy.
As I said out there, first I'd like to thank Ticket City and the Cactus Bowl and all the volunteers, the community in the Tempe, Phoenix, Chandler area, Scottsdale, everywhere that we had a part in this week. All the volunteers. It was a great bowl week for our players. I mentioned to them that it was the best 3 weeks of preparation for a bowl that we've ever had. Even the year we won the Fiesta Bowl, I thought this group maximized their opportunity for success. Showed up here first couple days, and they had a lot of free time, and we allowed them to enjoy the area. And on the third day, we buckled down, and the players bought in. They did what they were told. We didn't have any issues from them throughout the week. We had good leadership from our mature seniors, and they came out and played hard. I thought our defense was tremendous. We were able to rush the football. We ran for 150-something yards. Our goal was to be able to rush for at least 150, and we were able to get big plays. Receivers made catches. Quarterback set in the pocket. We did have a couple turnovers, but kicker made kicks. He missed one there at the end. We should have centered the ball. That was my fault. I don't know what I was thinking. Well, I know what I was thinking. I was getting too greedy with Castleman blocking and Dez running, and I thought we could convert it as more of a short yardage formation, and should have centered the ball up and let him kick a PAT and ended the game. So I felt bad about that once it was over. But other than that, I couldn't be more proud of a group. I thought our coaches were excellent in all 3 game plans, the flexibility. We missed a couple tackles on the return. The guy that returned the kickoff for them is a good player. We have to continue to work on that in the offseason. We can't give up those big plays. But a big thanks to the fans, the families, everybody that followed us out here. And this was a great finish for this team, to be able to win the last game on the road, to be able to get eligible for a bowl, to prepare the right way, and to come out and win. Have a lot of respect for Coach Peterson in Washington, always have. Had good conversations with him during the week. His teams are very, very well coached, and they're not somebody you want to go against because they're going to uncover every stone, and they know details, and that's their tradition and his tradition. So we knew we were going to have a challenge there. For the most part, I thought our offensive line held up fairly well against their pass rushers. They got to us 2 or 3 times, but they're really good. You're talking about guys that have been recognized nationally. So it was a great win for Oklahoma State. I'm just happy for the players and the fans and everybody that loves Oklahoma State football.
We'll now open it up for questions. Junior.
That's awesome.
Coach.
You're known everywhere. You can't even, I mean, you're coast to coast. You're amazing.
Well, another guy is going to be known everywhere is 91 tonight. So talk about the package. First of all, we were wondering, does it have a name that involves James Castleman not only running the ball, taking direct snaps, and catching the ball? And just his game tonight.
Tell him what the name is.
It's called Lahi, which means big in Polynesian. Yes, sir.
For OFA. And the reason we named it that for OFA, because he was upset that he didn't get to carry the ball or catch a pass. He doesn't have near the ball skills that the guy sitting next to me does. So we named it after him, and we threw it to him and handed it to him.
Next question. Here in the front right.
You know, Mike, you guys held the ball for 20 minutes in the first half and ran the ball well to start the game. How important was that kind of flip the script based on, compared to the last couple months of the season where the defense was on the field the whole time?
Well, you're right. And we talked about it throughout the middle of the season that offensively there were so many 3 and outs. And then we would hit some plays and be explosive, but you can't have 5 or 6 3 and outs. We were having a hard time figuring out if our defense was playing good or not, but they were on the field the entire game. And it was different tonight. So the offense was able to use some of the clock, but also move the ball and score, and allow these guys to make some adjustments and rest. And the second half, it's almost human nature that we have so many young players on offense that you look at the score and you say, okay, you have to play percentages, and if we get just a few stops, it'll be hard for them to catch us. So we're a little bit more conservative than what we would be, and when that happens, they're going to score some. And if you look back on it, you say just open it up again. But it worked out the way we wanted it to in the end.
Next question. Front right.
For James and for Mason, what was y'all's reaction when Coach Gundy sent in that play for you to throw it to James on the third down late?
Honestly, I was just ready to carry out the assignment. I didn't think he was going to throw it to me until in the middle of the play, I saw the guy who was supposed to guard me. I saw him fall, so I was like, oh man, Mason might be throwing me the ball. And so he ended up and I concentrated as hard as I could on that ball to make sure I caught it. That's the only thing I want to make sure I did. I didn't care if I got yards after that, just make sure I caught it. And he did a very good job getting me the ball, putting it where he needed to put it. And I'm just happy I was able to make a play for it.
Yeah, James, like you said, did a great job of catching the ball and turning it upfield for the first down there, critical first down. And offensive line did an incredible job, not only there but all night, giving me time and getting a good push off the ball. But when Coach called that, we were focused on executing, and that's what we did.
Second row here on the right.
Yes, it's been a kind of a crazy emotional couple of months for you. What's it like to finish your career being the MVP tonight?
It means a lot to me, and I'm sure it means a lot to the players on our team and the coaches. They really stuck with me through this. Well, through 2014, it was a real rough year. And this past season was real rough for everyone, as players and the coaching staff, going with a losing streak. But we bounced back and we stayed focused and we stayed positive, and we ended on a 2-game winning streak. And that's good for these young guys. They got momentum going to the next season.
Question here, second row on the right.
Really, for anybody on the dais, I mean, the biggest question mark coming in was whether your offensive line would hold up against Washington State's front seven. And it just seemed like progressively as the game went on, they gained confidence. Desmond became more productive. Protection wasn't bad. Can y'all just talk about the play of the offensive line?
Go ahead, Mason.
Credit the offensive line. Like I said, we ran the ball so well early that they were kind of on their heels. And like I said, those guys aren't on their defense are incredible. They got a couple of guys that are projected to go top, first round guys on their defense. So we knew it was going to be a battle going in. But our offense played great. We ran the ball well and kind of were able to keep them guessing whether it was pass or run.
We have a question here in the back on the right.
I'll get the camera situated there. Mike, Mason Rudolph still hasn't played a home game. This is his third game. Just how impressed were you the way he played down the stretch this season?
Well, our football team was impressed with his toughness and grit and what he put into it. And I said this in the media press conferences during the week that he's still a young player and he makes mistakes. He corrects them, continues to move forward. And our players and our quarterbacks know that in order to play quarterback at this level, you have to be the toughest guy on the field, period. Because you're going to take hits. In most cases, you don't have a chance to deliver a blow yourself. You got to be the first one off the ground, and you got to keep playing your attitude and everything. Confidence level has to be good, and so we're proud of him for that. And it's very unusual. I don't know if there's another guy that's come in as a true freshman and played on the road. But we're proud of him as well as the rest of the team.
Second row right.
Back on that, Mason. What's it been like for you? You played 3 games, not a home game, and now you've got a bowl win.
It's great. I mean, from the first game, the first game week against Baylor, the coaches and the team did a great job of kind of bringing me in and getting me those critical reps that I needed to move forward. And I think this offense as a whole kind of gained confidence after Baylor, and took strides into, obviously this game and having those extra practices back in Stillwater, and then here really helped out with, my steps forward and the offense. I thought we all, took a big leap, and we were able to, put points on the board tonight.
Junior.
Hey, Seth, you guys had a phenomenal first half. I think they had less than 100 yards, 0 points. Then they came on, obviously, in the second half. Just take me through the game from the defensive standpoint. And then after that, please comment on what it's like for you as a defensive player to see 91 turn into this offensive star.
I was joking around on the sideline after you got that catch that it's like, give him the offensive MVP. He's got to be the offensive MVP this game. But I'm glad Des got it. He ran hard and he did well and everything. But, give credit to, the defensive line and everybody else throughout the defense, just doing their job and doing what we were coached to do. Give credit to Coach Spencer for drawing up a good game plan and everything. And, give credit to Washington as well. And, in the second half, they went in and schemed, put out some good schemes and stuff. And, got to give them credit. They were very talented. As Coach Gundy said, he's notorious for, pulling out gadgets and being very detailed in what he does.
Front right here.
This is for Seth and James. Washington's coach was just up here, and the wording he used, he said in the first half he felt like their offense was kicked in the teeth by your defense. Can you describe what kind of energy you guys felt like you came out with on the field in that first half?
I feel like our energy might possibly be the best we've ever had this whole year. Seeing us come together like that, it was phenomenal. And I think it was just the preparation that we had all week. Coach said, this is one of our best, bowl preps that we've ever had. And for the past 4 years, I would have to agree with him. And, seeing how everybody connected with each other, especially the last 2 games, coming off that last win and, preparing for this bowl game, I feel like the energy, this whole bowl prep was just through the roof. And, everybody wanted to attack, everybody wanted to do that. And I feel like that's what we did the first half.
Everybody went out there, and when we had success out there in the first half, it was fun. We were having fun playing ball with one another and stuff, and it was just a great feeling, And we just went out, played hard for the guy next to us, and that's pretty much something that's been preached to us from the get-go. So I'm happy about that.
A question in the back here on the right.
Yeah, Mike, can you just reiterate just where this program is now, the last couple wins, just the total change, really, where the season was going?
Well, we all are living in a society today where people want to know what the latest results are and kind of what have you done for me lately. And I told the team that. Oklahoma State football is looked at differently from coast to coast than it was 10 years ago. These guys that are Des and James have been around here, and we won a lot of football games. And you can lose a few, and people all of a sudden forget. And that's okay. That's the way it is. So, as I said earlier, the last regular season win and the bowl win, these 2 guys and the rest of the seniors should take a lot of pride in saying we're going to find a way to finish. And you can say what you want, but these last 2 games are going to put a really good taste in the mouth of anybody that loves Oklahoma State football and loves Oklahoma State University. This makes a big difference. It is what it is. Just like during the season, when I kept getting the same questions, and I was getting frustrated in the media conferences, I didn't have an answer for you. Didn't have an answer for anybody, and at times I didn't feel like I had an answer for the team. That really frustrated me. And so we were able to make a few adjustments, but these guys made decisions to get it done, and so they put me in a better mood, and now I'm happy.
On the far right.
Go ahead. It's okay.
James, among all the games you've played as an OSU Cowboy, where does this one rank?
Being that I got to play a little offense, I had to put up there in the top 5.
Really? It's his top game. Come on.
All right, yeah. It's definitely my top game. Coach let me get out there and catch the ball, run the ball a little bit. I got to block for Des, so he, get in there and punch the ball on there a couple times. And so, I'm happy I got to just be a part of this community, be part of this family. These are my brothers, man. I'm gonna remember them for life. And I can't wait, to catch up with them, down the road and talk about this game. Because our Coach Spencer talks about that you're always gonna remember your last game. I promise you'll remember this last game.
Question here on the left.
Mason, you have you have 3 games of playing as quarterback. And now you have 1 play as a receiver. You want to talk about that for a moment?
Yeah, that was something we kind of put in the game plan, this bowl practice, and so I was pretty psyched up to run it, and I never thought we would call it in the game, but Shep made a great throwback to me, and the offensive line did an incredible job of blocking downfield, and I tried to get as much yards as I could, but Shep showed off his arm there. He's got a cannon on him.
Front right.
One for Des and one for Mike. Des, James mentioned, you'll never forget your last game. I'm sure you kind of wouldn't have this any other way, getting the ball 32 times the way you did tonight. And then, Mike, how would you sum up Desmond Rollins' 4 years here at OSU?
Yeah, let me go first because I'm shivering from the Gatorade, and I'm going to let them talk because I got to go change. I hate to do it, so I don't want you guys to get mad at me. It's a joke. Nobody's even laughing anymore. And I won't even pull out the selfies with you guys. So, okay, I want to say first that these 4 guys are so classy, and I think that you can tell by talking to them that this is what Oklahoma State football is all about. These guys are well-spoken. They talk about team. They talk about their coaches, and they don't talk about themselves. I'm very proud of them for that. As I mentioned after the Oklahoma game, the last 6 weeks have been tough for Des, and we all know why, but I saw in his eyes where he was hurting for a pretty good time. But he came back, and Oklahoma State football and his family and his coaching staff taught him how to fight through adversity. That's what football does. That's what we do at Oklahoma State. And we're together, like James said, as brothers. And you're going to get thrown curveballs in life, and you're going to have difficult situations. Life is a marathon. It's not a sprint. And you always do what's best. Guy comes in and in the last game to get into the bowl, runs the football effectively, and essentially got us set up in overtime for the game-winning field goal, and comes in and carries the ball 32 times in the game. You don't see a lot of backs carrying the ball 32 times. So he's earned it, and hopefully he's learned a great life lesson, and the other players that have watched him and the younger players have learned the same lesson so we can move on in the future. Go ahead, Des.
Oh, yeah, I forgot the question you asked.
Just kind of, your last game, the way James said you never forget it, probably wouldn't have it any other way, right?
Oh, no, absolutely. I wouldn't have it any other way, no matter how our record turned out. I look back at these last 3 to 4 weeks of preparation going back to before we played OU, and we really enjoyed it. We had a lot of fun, and we made a lot of memories that people had to sacrifice on our team. We couldn't be selfish, and that's the most I'm going to remember about my career. Of course, we won the Fiesta Bowl my freshman year, but we really had to earn these last 2 wins. And people, like I said, people have to make sacrifices, so that's the best part about it, and we finished on a strong note.
Far right here.
Yeah, for James and any other player who wants to comment, how was Mike Gundy's dance in the locker room?
He didn't do it.
Yeah, he didn't hit it today, but we might convince him to get it when we get back to the hotel.
Yeah.
Staying in the back.
For James, that play, how many times did you practice that? I mean, had you felt comfortable with it? Was it the 12 practices before the bowl game? Was it throughout the year? Talk about that.
No, sir. It was actually the whole bowl prep. I mean, as soon as we started bowl practice is when we kind of threw it in there. All year I've been joking around. Come on, coach. Throw me in there. Throw me the ball. Put me at tight end. Stuff like that. And sure enough, he let me do it. And we practiced. Mason coached me up. Des coached me up. They'd all coached me up on technique and how to do some stuff. And I mean, they did a really good job of doing that. And we continue to practice, and I feel like that's why it went so well throughout the game.
Far right.
James, do you think being an offensive player is something you really could have done for the last 4 years, play both sides of the ball?
I think I might have been able to help out the offense a little bit here and there. I mean, but the offense we have right now, I mean, they did a great job throughout the year. I mean, yeah, we had our ups and downs, but so the defense as well. But I wouldn't have mind playing, on the offense and helping them out a little bit.
Junior.
Now that the season's over, you guys can either praise him or dog him because he's a kid. But James, I want you and Desmond, if you would, to comment on this youngster down here who's been playing quarterback the last 3 games. Start with you, James.
I will have to give him his props. I honestly didn't think a young quarterback like him would be able to come in and just do the things that he's done, honestly. And I thought that, but yeah, I still was going to be behind him. I was still going to help him out as much as I could. Prep, boost him up. Come on, man, you got it. Don't worry about it. Well, none of us had to do that. He did it well himself. When we were walking on the play that we ran today, where they threw me the ball. He himself was like, Coach, run it again. I saw something. Let's run it again. I need to work on something. Let's run it again. And he was really good at trying to fix his own mistakes. And he might be young, but he definitely played like a senior.
Yeah, like you say, you have to give credit where credit is due. And I have to say I'm real proud of him as a player, as a freshman. He came in, he didn't play like a freshman. He wasn't spooked at all. He was a leader from the start. He was being real vocal, and he had an amazing game today. He's a tough guy. I think in the first quarter, he had like a baseball-sized bump on his left hand, and he could have easily set out for the rest of the game. But in the very next series, he came back, and he didn't complain at all, and he finished the game strong, and he led us to the victory today.
Mason, sort of the same thing. How's your season sort of changed in the last month, and now you go into the offseason as the starting quarterback for OSU?
It's been a ride. It's been a great season. No matter where I was, what role I was playing for this team, I've enjoyed it from the first game when JW was playing, and then Dax's time, and love those guys and love this team. Guys like Desmond, you can play with your whole year and hand the ball to him. Never had a running back like him in high school, but it's great to be able to have weapons around you to use. Offensive linemen and then receivers to make plays for you. But it's been a great 3 stretches. I think there's a lot of work that can be done in the offseason. A lot of mistakes can be cleaned up for sure.
Far right.
Mason and Seth, what does the future hold for Oklahoma State football?
You first? Me first? I think it's bright. That's what I would say. We're going to go in and we'll get about a week off, and then we'll go back and we're going to work hard, have a good winter, good spring, and good summer, and this is a time where young players improve and prove themselves as worthy to be on the field.
I think like Coach Gunny had said, we had a lot of young players this year, a lot of young guys on defense who really stepped up and took strides this year. And I think we're all really looking forward to next year and having an incredible off season and getting the guys bigger, faster, stronger, and coming out 2015 and making a statement.
Any more questions? All right, this concludes our Oklahoma State press conference.